Hey Vanguard family, my name is Fernando Barreto. I'm from Pomona, California, and this is my story. Growing up, I wasn't in faith, Most of my real like values were in wrestling and sports, and I was very sports orientated. My father would take me to practice instead of church on Sundays, and I kind of knew of God, but I didn't know God fully. Um, there was always just like ideas like there has to be someone bigger than me because all the opportunities that I received is not from me. And the Lord works through that. Even though when you don't see him, he is still working a lot in your life. And I'm just so blessed that he gave me opportunities and so many like blessings, just to know that he's so real. And growing up, like I was very curious. I wanted to be fed, and it wasn't until my high school like years I finally got an idea of like who the Lord really is. And it was kind of this moment of like being in a dark place, in a really dark hole. My senior year in high school, I was supposed to win state as just a guy that just showed up out of nowhere, like who is Fernando? And the Lord had other plans, And my favorite thing is but God, right? And in that, the midst of all that hurt and anger and an injury in a hospital bed, I just heard the words "follow me." And being a like a first believer, I didn't know what that meant, and the Lord still met me there. He still gave me the tools and in the right path, and that was a big turning point for me, and I just love how the Lord always meets you at a place where you feel like you can't be met by God. So transitioning from high school, the Lord has blessed me with the opportunity to go wrestle at a Division I school. Still in my earthly ways, I didn't know who the Lord was. He would show glimpses of himself to me, with success, with amazing friends, and how I got to Vanguard is a testimony itself. I was looking to transfer out of this Division I school. I had the opportunity to go wrestle at my dream college, Oklahoma Sooners. I took that offer up and I was there, but one thing is I gained all my worldly desires and I didn't have no holy desires. So I was living my dream, but I was so empty. And the Lord always met me in the dark places, right? What kind of started this whole change to me going to Vanguard is my parents gave me a call and they let me know that my sister was having seizures at the time, and it was kind of shocking because I thought here I am fulfilling my dreams, like nothing could go wrong, right? And being down here with my family and like being there with my family, I had to turn to the Lord. Nothing could have filled that hole, that brokenness, and I needed an answer of like, okay, is my sister gonna be okay? And the Lord met me every time, and He's just such a good God that when I was here, an opportunity came. The Vanguard coach called me, and he was like, "Hey, I see that you're in California. Like, how would it be? Like, how would it look like for you to come to Vanguard?" And I told him I would love to wrestle, and I kind of turned it down the first time. It kind of felt unreal. I never knew who the Lord was, and this option presented itself, so I kind of turned away because I didn't feel worthy. So this was around April 2 years ago, and so I started going to church. I started like, okay, I want to feel worthy enough to your calling, but gosh, was I so wrong? Like God doesn't call the qualified; He qualifies the call. So, and going to church, I got baptized and I was starting to understand His word. And the Vanguard coach called me again, and I was like, okay, Lord, I can't turn this down, right? And it was after 3 days after I got baptized, actually, the Vanguard coach called me again, and I just knew it was confirmation. I had to be there, right? And even in the midst of all the stuff that I didn't even know about the Lord, He met me so many times, especially in a hard situation with seeing like your family members going like that. And ever since being here, I've just been flooded with the Holy Spirit like every day. I'm so grateful because the Lord has blown my expectations. I had to sacrifice something though, and that was amazing because I sacrificed my Division I career to follow God, and I'm telling you, it is so worth it. A lot of people think that the life that you built for yourself is better than what the life that God has planned for you, but I challenge you to throw away that life that you think you built so hard and just go and tap into what the Lord has called you to. It's gonna take you further than you could ever think, and I'm just so grateful that the Lord met me and changed me. The Lord is just so good. If you know me, you know that I just can't stop smiling because He is so good. Like my sister has been healed, and the Lord is so faithful. Like, there was so many times I could just think I never looked in His direction, but He kept keeping His eyes on me, and He's like, no, like the world can't have this one, not my son. And my sister, it's amazing to see the impact that she has because she's a Christian therapist and she's impacting so many people. And it just shows like when you are a target and the enemy sees you as someone that could bring so much glory to the Lord's name, he wants to take you away from that. He wants to fill you with anxiety, with doubt, and just knowing that he wants to put this thing on you that thinks that you can't do it, right? But the Lord is so good. He defies all things that you feed yourself in reality. But yes, I'm so grateful that the Lord has saved my sister and look at the wonderful things he's doing, not only in my life, but in so many other people's lives. He is doing something right now. And being here at Vanguard, the Lord has met me so many times, but one time in particular, I was cutting weight for one of our duels. I felt so depleted. I had no energy. I had a tough week with finals. I just felt like I was like, okay, God, I can't do it. And I had a duel that weekend. And I just remember telling myself, I'm like, all I need to have in my heart is just Jesus. I just kept repeating to myself, Jesus, you are my savior. Jesus, you are my provider. You are my father. You love me. And I had the best performance I've ever had throughout the whole year. I ended my match in 15 seconds. I was able to pin the guy so quick. And I know it's not like God's on my side, but it's just surrendering the outcome, understanding that I wasn't doing it for my glory, but it was for God because I didn't have the energy. I didn't have the strength to continue. And I just knew that he cares. He wants me to cast my anxieties on him. He wants me to cast all my worries on him. And I did. And it's just so beautiful to see him working in my life currently right now. So I've had the opportunity to be an RA, which is honestly the biggest blessing. You know, being in this position, meeting the residents, and them pouring into me, rather me pouring into them. It's this beautiful flow that the Lord works through, right? There's so much love, and the Lord has really been guiding me in this, right? I've never had an older brother. I've had two amazing older sisters, but a male role model was something that was kind of out of the picture growing up a little bit, and I just really thank the Lord that He's equipped me, He's risen me up, and He told me that there's so many things that are there for us, and Vanguard has been one of those resources. The mentors, the people around the community, it's just something that's so amazing that has created me into this individual, right? And I'm able to take this and run with it in my position as an RA, right? The Lord, when I feel like I don't have time to pour out into my residents or I don't feel like I have enough energy, God reminds me that, hey, it's not for you, it's for me. He's like, I need you to be there. And He motivates me. He gives me every reason to go and do it because he needs us to be active and proactive, and He will provide us with the right tools. God won't tell you to go find a treasure and not give you the map. He will give you the right tools to go and find it. And He's met me so many times. Like, for an example, I sometimes don't have the right words to speak. And by just surrendering the outcome and telling God, like, hey, like, I need you to speak to this person, not me. I want them to see your face, not my face. He shows up because when two or more gather, He's in the midst of that. The Lord is just so amazing. I just have to start off with that every time. And my vision for Vanguard is just creating an environment for individuals to really chase after the Lord aggressively, relentlessly. That I know that Vanguard has an environment for that, but some people can kind of get pulled away because they feel like they're not qualified. But look at me. I was never a person who really believed in the Lord before I came to Him. And you're never too far off. My vision is I want everyone to feel connected. Like you do have a say. You do have a person that really does want to pour into you. You know, there's people here that are looking to help others. It's not like Christians and non-Christians. Rather, it's a community. We're trying to know who the Lord is together. And my vision is just having those resources to people who feel like they can't really access them. And I think doing that by walking in humility, by being honest and saying like, hey, like I don't got it all figured out, creates that environment. And Vanguard is doing an amazing job. Just seeing the change over from last year, you could tell that community is rising. There's so much revival in this campus. So many people are finding out who God really is, and that's all I want to continue here at Vanguard. And this just goes to anybody who feels like they're too far gone. I want you to realize the same Lord that redeems all the people in the Old Testament, the New Testament, is still the same God that's living and working today. That there's nothing too big, I mean that, nothing too big to keep you away from the Lord. I want you to realize that God is always knocking at your front door. And I hope that Vanguard is a constant reminder that there's so many people that are willing to help you, that this is not something you need to do alone, that this is something that we all don't know because we can't put God in a box. No one will ever know until we finally meet him face to face. So I just encourage you, continue to lean in, keep finding community, and just surrender everything to the Lord. He's waiting for you.